You want to create students that are better than you, but how many teachers will do that? Not many. None of these guys could draw when they came in, trust me. It's a tiny little place, but it's so effective. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of drawings. And then I threw away 10 times that, getting good. I mean, if I do a bad job, my business goes out of business, and that's the way it should be. Every one of those books has been milled through, digested, pulled apart, read, studied. And I just was really frustrated with seeing these young kids come in with like 350 grand in debt, and they were probably equivalent to a first-year student here. You gotta love what you're gonna do, or you're never gonna be hyper successful or masterful, period. I mean, I could have done 1,000 things to make more money that would have been 1,000 times easier.
Welcome to an exclusive journey inside the world of Watts Atelier, a sanctuary where art meets mastery under the guidance of its visionary founder, Jeff Watts. In this video, you will discover the essence of an atelier, a traditional workshop where dedication to craft transforms aspiring artists into masters. We will explore the unique methodology that has positioned Watts Atelier among the premier art schools globally. Jeff generously offered his time and space for this video, so let's explore the halls of this unique one-room school and witness the passion that defines it.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Jeff Watts here from Watts Atelier of the Arts in Encinitas, California. And this is a little atelier that my wife and I started 33 years ago. And I think I was about 22 at the time. So what the atelier offers is a self-guided, with obviously us advising, students at their own pace can do what they want, as much as they want, as long as they want, until they feel they're adequate enough to go out and venture into the world. So what we have over here is like this wall of random drawings. And what it is it's when somebody in the school does a really phenomenal head drawing, figure drawing, page of quick sketch, we will hang it up as an inspirational, they'll leave it to the school, and that'll become kind of like little signposts for future artists that come here. Like when you come in the door, I pretty much say, that's what we're gonna learn how to do, right? None of these guys could draw when they came in, trust me. I know all of them, I train most of them, and I are assisted in training them. You don't really train somebody, you give them an environment with good information and good demos, and you work on their drawings. So you do train them, but their heavy lifting comes from them. But if you look at those drawings, there's a consistency to them, but they're all individual. And a lot of people used to say, one of the problems with our school was everybody drew the same. And I said, yeah, really good. I mean, excuse me, I mean, come on now.
So this is like the goals wall.
Yeah. And then,
long enough.
yeah, that's what you would want to shoot for. And that takes a couple years usually for somebody to get to that level, but that's even fast. I mean, when you're talking about the grand scheme of things. You see graphite drawings, master studies. We do a lot of studies from the masters, Sorolla, Frazetta, Rembrandt, Sargent. Kind of when I came down to San Diego, there just wasn't anything. The school system was highly disappointing to me. The models, the teachers, it just didn't seem like there was a lot of structure, a lot of method behind what they taught. I taught maybe 4 to 6 classes a week. It was just me, and that lasted like that for probably a good 5 to 8 years before I got one person through that method of teaching good enough to actually help me teach. Yeah, to create the first one was the hardest, and then the second one came a couple years after that. Then we had 2 or 3 guys teaching. Then I could build the next layer of the atelier, build the new classes that were more advanced, let those guys teach the classes I used to teach. I would still teach them, but I would go on to build another tier. And while I was building that tier, I had to learn that tier because I was learning as I taught.
You know, listening to Jeff reminisce about the old days of his school was really exciting to me and opened my eyes to the importance of preserving expert skills and methodologies. You know, these methods could be lost if not enough people master them. And from a seemingly young age, Jeff committed to mastering this type of approach to drawing and painting. And as he learned and leveled up, he created this school and community to pass on these techniques, ensuring they continue to reach new artists and practitioners.
Drawing on this side, and then you have painting running at the same time, which when I did it, it wasn't the way it was designed. And so this was supposed to be our painting room, and then it just got chopped in half. And I said, well, we don't really have the money and time to do what we wanted to do, so it's gonna be all in here. 17 people on this side and 17 people on that side. You got like 50 people in here, a lot of noise, but it was awesome. Yeah, you would come in this room and it was like, I likened it to almost like the gym that in Rocky, just really salty, and it's a tiny little place, but it's so effective. But anyway, yeah, over here is painting. So you see casts. We do some cast drawing, but not a lot. Just a little smattering. It's a great way to train in the beginning, but I think people kind of, in my own opinion, use it too long and kind of just want to get in and out with casts, maybe a year of doing it and then go into observational comparative measurement type learning. So more wall hangers, master studies. So you see everything from Elfgren to Alma Tadema to Leyendecker to Frazetta to Repin, Cornwell. Master studies taking the great painters from the past, deconstructing their paintings through drawing and painting, and learning how to work methodically like them and think like them. And then you can then take that information and embody it in your own way, in your own career. So you might study 20 different people over 10 years and then put your own flavor into it. And what comes out of it is uniquely you, with all this great kind of lineage of other great painters that are now passed and didn't leave, unfortunately, videos or any kind of books to tell you how they did it. Right. So you have to literally deconstruct. Yeah, so it is. It's like really like mining great past artists for their essence of what they did, but you have to do a lot of self-educating while you do it because they're not there to talk to you. Our Atelier really is kind of holding the torch for the Reilly method, but it's kind of even hybrided off of that because I've kind of put my own flavor into that, but it really still has a lot of that soul. Some of my teachers are here 25, 27 years. A lot of them are 15 plus years, almost all of them. And they came in as young kids that were flipping pizzas and working at Trader Joe's and doing 9-to-5s and thinking that maybe pipe dream of someday actually doing something creative. Got in here, started learning, started to see there is a system, there is a way of learning this stuff.
So what is this Reilly method? The Reilly method, developed by American painter and illustrator Frank J. Reilly, is a systematic approach to drawing the human head and figure or anything. This method emphasizes abstraction and construction, facilitating a deeper understanding of design and form. In other words, and in simplest terms, it's a rhythmic grid system that can be modified for anything you paint or draw. And I want to make it clear, I'm not familiar with this system and approach. I haven't trained in it, nor do I know the specific nuances of the instruction that Jeff and his instructors provide in their classes. This is just a quick description, just a broad overview, but there's an amazing podcast episode on Proco's YouTube channel with Jeff talking about the Reilly system and approach. It's really awesome. If you want to dive into that a little more, I will link it.
Yeah, so these are kind of, like what that method is, so quick and efficient. I've never seen a method, and I keep looking, it's so poetically fast and efficient when it's working well. And you can see the consistency factor is what you would want ultimately, because working professionally, you can't have paintings and drawings that don't, every once in a while you get a good one. You have to pretty much be trying to hit them all the time. Warm up, long drawing from just one of the classes we had last term. Some quick sketches, some more quick sketches. Those are like 2, 3, 5 minute probably. Some more quick sketches. God. More quick sketches. We do everything from landscape painting, still life painting, illustration, concepting, invention work. So you end up all that stuff, but people will gravitate to it in their own pace. Well, that's what I was saying. Sometimes you might see my dad teaching a class where you're not ready for it all, but just even being in there to observe it and being allowed to, it's worth the 300. We're like probably one of the, probably most economical, best schools on the planet. I would say top 5.
It is sort of crazy you could get the best fine art education for quite literally 50 times cheaper than a 4-year traditional degree. It's not for everyone, of course, but it's awesome it even exists, and Jeff has made it purposefully affordable to make this specific education as accessible as possible. And if you don't believe me, you could just go to wattsatelier.com and check the online and in-person class prices, and I think you'll just be shocked.
And I just was really frustrated with seeing these young kids come in from these really boutique art schools, hung with like 350 grand in debt, and they were probably equivalent to a first-year student here. And I was like, dude, you got 5, 10 years of training, if you're lucky, before you're even ready to do anything. And you are on gas fumes because you got no money left.
Can we go to your office? Is that allowed?
Yeah, you want to go to the studio?
I would love to.
Yeah, let's go. You want to just walk over?
Yeah,
let's go. And then you walk in here, and this is just this is the where you slug it out with all your efforts. You got all my library back there. You can see every one of those books has been milled through, digested, pulled apart, read, studied, countless hours spent on those books. So that was a rite of passage back in the day, before the internet, before you could download PDFs and files and stuff. That was the way you did it. You had to go out and buy the books. So there's probably $100,000 worth of books there, and between there, another bookshelf over here. some of those books are like 1800s. They're like, they'll never print them again, right? And this is just a big imaginative realism demo from one of the classes where I started that in class, told people how to work up their comps, work up their old school, not digital. There's no digital. The gouache comp was done from that. You can see there's drawings all over the place underneath the books over there that I used to actually work out this composition. And it's just a really fun piece for me. It was nothing, I don't normally do pieces like that. People don't know me to do pieces. Really where I started, which the teaching, which I thought was just a stepping stone, was really what I always should have been doing. And it's where I'll leave my biggest mark. So it's like a full, I always thought it was just a thing that was happening to keep me training, and it was fun and I liked everybody and all that. But I'm just always trying to do little things that help me a lot to help other people. And it's not always like, it makes me sound like I'm some kind of like total Messiah. Yeah. I just love to learn. I love to teach, and I love to share with people how I learn. It's never ending. You got to come in and train yourself because your students sometimes are getting better than you. So you can't just be, kind of like, you can't skate at all. It's just, and it's great. It's what you want. You want to create students that are better than you, but how many teachers will do that? Not many. I was taking classes last term. I was sitting on the quick sketch class. I've taught that class 110 times. I think it's good for the kids to see that too, because here they see the owner coming in, sitting right next to them on a Friday night. I have better things to do. And I'm in here drawing a figure drawing for the 7th millionth time and still liking it. Still, you can't fake that. So a lot of people used to think, I think when I first started it, that maybe it was for something other than the passion. But I could have done 1,000 things to make more money that would have been 1,000 times easier. But it is just a sincere love of it.
And the truth of the matter is, if there's not people like you, that the skills will probably die out.
Yeah. The Reilly method was on the chopping block. It was, none of the guys that really learned it really well were going to pass it on. And I saw that. And I like teaching. So I thought, well, hey, I don't think I'm ready, but you're never ready. So I took the mantle and ran with it. And I think I'd done a really good job keeping the integrity of it. And that's what I'm most proud of. The byproducts is it started to splinter off. I've got guys that have come and trained with us from Europe that now have little ateliers in New Zealand. They have little ateliers in Munich of the Reilly method that came through here. So it's cool. It's spreading organically. It's just beautiful because it's like a big family, and you end up getting to know the owner and the teachers. Whereas you go to some of these other big boutique art schools, and I don't know who owns the thing. If I do a bad job, my business goes out of business, and that's the way it should be. Period. And so I have to come in, do good demos, work on your work, get you good, and if I don't, you'll leave. And you should. So it's it's perfect. It's like, it cuts out all the chaff. It gets rid of all the shenanigans. It gets rid of all the bureaucracy. It gets rid of all the red tape and all the crap that you have to deal with when you go to college systems and stuff. And I'm not saying colleges are bad. I'm saying for art, they're not great. So anyway, this is where, I do a lot of concepting sketchbook stuff over in the corner there. Then I do my oil painting here. So over here, yeah. But look, like for example, if you look at this, each one of these has hundreds, if not thousands of this is tens of thousands of wall. These are all my best work, right? These are all the drawings that made the cut could be on the wall hangers, quick sketches, figure drawings, long figure, female, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of drawings. And it's all full. And then down there is a stack that I couldn't fit in here that big, and then I threw away 10 times that, getting good. Right, so that's just the good stuff that I kept over the years. So it's almost like I must have some like my wife just laughs. You're not quite, But when you look at the amount of just sheer volume of practice.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, and this is what will scare a lot of people off. But it's like I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you. Don't kill the messenger. Yeah. This is what I did to get good. I still draw a lot. I love it. I guess the key takeaway is you gotta love what you're gonna do, or you're never gonna be hyper successful or masterful, period.
Becoming the best is not a path chosen by everyone. I assume many who come to Watts Atelier are not necessarily aiming to master their craft. They simply seek high quality education within this realm of fine art for a certain period of time. However, for Jeff, it has become his passion and almost duty to excel and to foster an environment that nurtures the highest level of achievement, again, in this realm of representational painting and drawing. And inspired by Jeff and many others, I actually started my own in-person fine art community. About 9 months ago, I transformed most of my space here in my studio in Brooklyn, New York to host figure drawing classes, painting classes, and to house outstanding instructors to run their own workshops. It's called Studio Slew, and I actually incorporated a nonprofit to make it a real organization whose mission is to make high quality fine art experiences accessible. I don't consider myself an atelier, not nowhere near what Watts is doing, but a place for up and coming artists to train traditionally with live models, with really high quality materials and a really inviting and fun setting, all for the super duper cheapest price ever. You know, it's more of an art gym than an art school, but it's really exciting. The ability to travel and produce these videos while trying to run my organization efficiently and awesomely requires support from sponsors like Squarespace. When launching my nonprofit, I needed a robust website capable of managing ticketed events and serving just as a central hub for my organization. Squarespace seamlessly integrated all my business and creative needs within their clean, easy to customize templates. My experience with Squarespace has been entirely positive, and should any issues arise, their 24-hour customer service is ready to assist with any aspect of the website at all. I think it's really important for business owners as well as artists to have professional looking and functioning websites. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to build a website and buy a domain, head to squarespace.com/slew for 10% off.
For me, mastery is an elusive thing. You can be a master for a short period of time of something, but unless you maintain the training intensity, it will go away. Like, I've been masterful at Quick Sketch for sure. And there was a time when I would feel like I was probably one of the best people at Quick Sketch, but if I don't do it every term, you know, I can start seeing that mastery disappear. The nice thing is you can do it for the rest of your life, and it's not like a ballerina. You got a window of like 10 years if you're lucky. And then physically your body just is not going to be able to handle that kind of career. Art, you can go all the way to the grave with it, right? You have more time for the mastery, but you really want to utilize your youthful exuberance in an intelligent manner and get good education. And I would highly recommend just knowing what I've seen the Atelier do for people, my Atelier as well as others. I don't think, hands down, the way to go. It's a fraction of the cost, and it's like getting a boutique Rolls-Royce education for a Pinto price. I don't even Pintos are even, people don't even know what that is. A Gremlin or something, I don't know, whatever. Mini Cooper or something, but even that's pretty expensive now. But anyway, so teaching's always been a passion of mine. I'm back to pretty much sealing the deal and finishing the online, which will have over 2,500 hours of content. I mean, that's ridiculous. You could, and it's just all the classes we teach here, I laid them down when I was at my best in them. So proud of that. And we have all the other guys in it too, and my dad in it and all that. So that's going to hopefully live on way past me, and that'll be when this is no longer here. People will be able to access the Reilly method and the knowledge I gained from the 40 years of doing it in that program. I would say for those of you out there that are thinking about it, platform like the Watts Atelier online, the Watts Atelier in person, even Florence Academy, places like that. Look into the Ateliers. Art Renewal Center, fantastic organization, maps a lot of the ateliers around the world that are worthwhile. Oh, wow. So you could. We've been part of them since 20 years now. So we were one of the first ateliers to be accredited by them.
I'll put that in the link.
Yeah.
There are many different ateliers in the world and many different approaches of learning this representational traditional fine art. Just like anything, there are tried and true methods of making great things, and you can make great drawings and paintings many different ways. The point of an atelier is to have a master teach their way of doing things, and that's what Jeff has so successfully done. But like he said, Art Renewal Center showcases top ateliers around the world for people to discover for themselves. Definitely check out artrenewal.org. That will be linked also.
Every teacher we've ever had, with the exception of my dad, who's still teaching in his 80s, came from within the Atelier. I wanted to keep it that Reilly method. I wanted to keep it really, I wouldn't say pure, but as strong as possible with as few of outside, interruptions. Like if you brought in, like, say, I want Steve Houston to be in here and I want all these people, they're all great artists, but it'd be too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody's got different philosophies. Some of them would be better to get to later in your training. Some are ones that you'd want to wait a little bit maybe. So I always felt consistency while you're in the developmental phase. I don't care what you pick. You could pick Site Size, you could pick us, you could pick Houston's, different methods, and lock on to something until you get proficient. And then you can start cherry picking from all the great sources and people. Otherwise you get a little confused, and a lot of times it just doesn't make for an efficient flow of, in what I've seen, an efficient flow of getting really, really good. I kind of just threw you in, and you did. Yeah.
You threw me in before I was officially a teacher.
Yeah.
I was in your class,
Sometimes I would do that.
And
I would
you were
like
just
pick
like,
people.
you're
and-
doing the demo today. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm doing a demo today.
That's what Glenn did to me on my 21st birthday. Glenn, I went out all night and partied and got so just worked. And I was with all my buddies, and I came home and there was a message. Hey, can you cover for my class tomorrow? And it was the first time I'd ever taught, and I came in so hungover. It was terrible. I remember it was just. But Glenn was notorious. That was one of my teachers for playing, not pranks, but he would like to, really push the students that were going to had potential. And he just thought I would be a good teacher someday. So he's like, "Oh, you're going."
Gentle hazing.
Yeah, it was. And
Good.
we used to do that here. We used to, whenever there was a new teacher, we'd bring all the other teachers in to watch the first demo, and they would all.
Make it even worse.
Oh god,
all gather
horrible. High
around.
stakes.
Yeah. My first demo was right next to you doing a demo. So they get to just sit there and see how bad
It's
I am.
so bad. It's so hard. But I have so much respect for our teachers and anyone who will just step into that, because it really is a trial by fire. It's kind of like all of a sudden, I mean, there's really no other way to do it, because it's just kind of like you could babysit or put people in the kiddie pool forever.
Yeah.
But I've always been from the mentality, if the person's got, really good character, they've got good natural ability, they're going to rise to the occasion. It's going to pull a lot out of them that maybe it would have taken longer to come out, or maybe never. I think it's always been an honor to teach here, I hope. I think it has. I mean, it's not many people that get to.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have come through that really were potentially good potential teachers, but just I didn't have a space for them. It's a small business, family owned. It's really not like you can make everybody you thought could be a teacher. Just don't have the room for it. So it's really timing. So, but everyone's got the chops, and then their personality is what really brings the flavor, I think,
awesome.
to the school. But yeah, no, this is it. So that's pretty much the tour of the Atelier. It's a small place, but that's the odd one out. That's a chiropractor. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's it.
Shout out Jeff, shout out Watts Atelier. This was a really cool experience for me selfishly. I'm really glad and grateful I got to meet Jeff and tour the school. This is actually the first video in a mini series diving deep into fine art education. I was in San Diego for a week. There's 2 more videos coming out, mostly about Stan Prokopenko, his private studio, and his company. Extremely excited. These are some of the coolest videos I think I've ever made. Maybe they're already out right now, but this is the first one of the 3. So, go check out wattsatelier.com, go to Watts' YouTube channel, and then get excited and watch the other videos in this series if this was something you're into. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.